particularly in a situation where there's a kind of unashamed approach to international law, to breaking international law. I mean, this is what I'll be talking about because, in the past there was maybe a bit more of a kind of shame when international law was being broken, or at least a pretense that it wasn't being broken. But we're in an environment now where, there are various actors around the world who are like, international law is not a thing, it doesn't matter to me, this doesn't apply, I just decided it doesn't apply. And we've seen that most violently in the case of UNRWA, in that in January the Israeli authorities seized our offices and demolished them in East Jerusalem. Now, that's wrong on multiple levels. Of course, one of them is that the UNRWA is a United Nations agency, so this was seizing a United Nations building and destroying it. And then we've seen the fact that this is also wrong because East Jerusalem is an occupied territory under international law. Now, the reason I'm explaining this is that this has gone hand in hand with a disinformation campaign to somehow justify this. And I'm going to say on the political support, just in parenthesis, we have a very important political support from the government of Turkey. We're just opening an office currently in Ankara, and this is very important for us. Now, we currently have a cash flow deficit of around $100 million. Now, this has meant that we've had to make some very, very difficult decisions. For example, we've had to reduce our delivery of services by 20%. That means that the salaries of our local staff, so the doctors, the educators, the street cleaners, everybody, they have had to have their salaries reduced by 20%. But then to go back to the political side, we're also in a situation where we are under political attack from the Israeli authorities and others, going hand in hand with disinformation. We've had legislation from the State of Israel to ban our work in what it considers to be its territory. We are denied the possibility of bringing aid into the Gaza Strip. That's just a political decision by the Israeli authorities. It becomes more and more dangerous for our staff to work in the occupied Palestinian territory. Almost 400 of my colleagues have been killed in the Gaza Strip. That has never happened in the history of the United Nations, that so many UN staff have been killed. So real-world attacks, disinformation, financial crisis, and in some cases some donor governments who appear to have listened to the disinformation and have decided maybe not to fund UNRWA so much, or not at all. And that has pushed us into a situation where we may have to make more serious decisions which would affect the people that we are supposed to serve, who are Palestine refugees.